And good evening, Hampton Roads. Welcome to another edition of Dollars and Common Sense, your local source for objective, unbiased financial advice. I'm your host, certified financial planner Kevin Zivna, coming to you live like I do every second and fourth Tuesday of the month to dialogue with you, take your calls. If you have a question or comment relating to your own personal financial situation or anything I'm talking about here tonight, jump on the phone lines, give me a call, 627-7979. All we need is your first name, city you're calling from, and no matter what I'm talking about, if it's important to you, then it's important to me. We'll get you right on air, 627-7979. Wealthway Financial Advisors is the proud sponsor of Dollars in Common Sense. We are an independent registered investment advisor, which means we're legally held to a fiduciary standard to put our clients' interest ahead of our own in any business dealing or recommendation that we make, and that's the way it should be when you work with a financial advisor. As the premier financial planning firm in Hampton Roads, we integrate expert investment management with customized, ongoing financial planning advice to help our clients answer life's big financial questions and enhance their quality of life. So by design, we can't work with everyone. We work with a relatively small group of high net worth individuals, but that's one of the reasons we feel so strongly about coming here every second and fourth Tuesday at 6 p.m. That's to reach out and help as many people in the Hampton Roads listening area that we can achieve your measure of financial success, because it is a core belief at Wealthway Advisors that the overwhelming majority of people in this country have the opportunity for financial security if they choose it. And it is an opportunity because it takes time, it takes effort, and takes knowledge. We're here to help. You got to take that first step, though. Pick up the phone, give me a call, 627-7979, whether you want to talk about anything having to do with the investment markets, the economy, insurance products like life insurance, health insurance, property casualty, taxes, tax planning, tax reduction strategies, retirement planning, retirement plans, 401ks, 403bs, TSPs, IRAs, Roth IRAs, mortgage options, Social Security claiming strategies, or estate planning, wills, and trusts. All that and more falls under the umbrella of personal finance. We are here to discuss tonight, 627-7979. All right, tonight's topic is something I've been wanting to talk about for a while because it's really been sort of sticking in my craw. We're going to talk about financial misinformation on the internet. And thanks to the Certified Financial Planner Board of Standards, the entity that regulates certified financial planners and protects the CFP marks and is the licensing and governing body of the Certified Financial Planning standards, they came out recently with an educational piece on some of the more prevalent forms of financial misinformation that is out there in the ethosphere nowadays. And so I thought tonight I would spend the show talking about some of these forms of financial advice from suspected individuals and sources, and try to give you some guidance on how to cut through the clutter and the noise and the disinformation around financial advice. Because, trying to build your own financial plan, try to grow your net worth, try to develop good savings and spending habits and patterns is hard enough as it is. But when it comes to financial information, like you can find it almost anywhere. To me, it feels like health information or medical information, where every new study seems to contradict some other study that's been done previously. And so it just sort of jumbles all together, and I have a hard time making sense of sort of healthcare information as it relates to, good health habits and so forth. And I feel like to the layperson, that's probably a lot of what financial advice seems like. It's like no matter who you talk to, you get kind of a different opinion, and it's hard to really determine or decipher what's true, what's right, and what's right for you, most importantly. So tonight we're gonna tackle some of that. So yeah, everybody pretty much with a smartphone and a TikTok account can be an influencer these days, and a lot of them are making their way into financial advice. So let's hit some of the topics that I see out there, and maybe I can give you some better perspective on what's real and what's not. So first off, one of the old tried and true traits statements from finance is guaranteed returns and risk-free investments. Right? You ever seen those advertised somewhere that some clown pops up in your news feed touting guaranteed returns and risk-free investments? They offer promises of consistent or outsized returns with little or no risk, often tied to private funds. You've seen a lot with cryptocurrency nowadays, or annuity-like investment vehicles, which are their own sort of animal. And so we often see those guaranteed claims come from those areas. Sometimes some examples you might have seen: earn 30% annually with no market exposure. Or how about, I found a way to hack the real estate market. My real estate syndicate has never lost money. Okay. Well, the reason that this information is harmful is it violates basic investment principles regarding the relationship between risk and return. In finance, there is no significant risk. There is no significant return without some level of risk or volatility. And so these types of claims gloss over that or ignore that. And this distorts people's expectations and often results in harm to the investors, because these are probably fraudulent type of schemes. So if you see, winding through all of this, is you see anything that's too good to be true from a financial perspective, it is. Okay, so just start there. So some things that you can look for. These types of claims are promoted through usually made up social media testimonials or influencers posing as clients of other firms that deliver these type of returns. Oftentimes they're accompanied by high pressure tactics that you have to act now before the opportunity disappears. Anytime you're pressured into moving quickly to make a major financial decision, it is probably not in your best interest. So if an investment promises guaranteed high returns with zero risk, that's not a strategy, okay? That's a scam. Real investing involves some level of risk in order to get a higher regular reward than you can get out of, say, basic savings and bank products. So watch out for claims that seem too good to be true. All right, here's another one that I've seen before. Secret tax strategies and loopholes. Claims that wealthy people use hidden tax strategies that anyone can copy, just if they pay me some money to take my course or buy my product. Yeah, there's a whole mythology out there that rich people don't pay taxes. No, that is categorically false, because I see high income tax returns, and I'm telling you that the more people make, the more they pay in taxes. And it's fundamental to the tax code. It's built in by design. The only way somebody can legally get around paying low or no taxes who makes a lot of money is to either lose a lot of money or give away a lot of money. And then, yes, there are deductions for losing money or giving away money, and you can lower your tax bill by doing that. But usually that only happens in 1 year, every few years, or maybe once every 10 years. But it's not something that can be consistently done legally, where high-income earners can avoid paying any sort of tax. And some of the schemes that you might see advertised use this S corp or LLC trick to write everything off. Well, there are S corps and LLCs are legal entities, and if they have legitimate business purposes, then you can use them for business. And if you have legal expenses attributable to the business that you can deduct, then yes, there are ways you can lower the income that business produces. But just setting up those types of accounts, S corp, LLC, and trying to run expenses through them without generating sufficient income is going to be a huge red flag to the IRS and going to get you an audit. Here's another one that you sometimes see. Avoid taxes forever with the charitable trust hack. Mm-hmm. Well, charitable trusts are a legitimate financial instrument, especially for giving to charity. But those trusts have to have a legitimate charitable intent. And there are ways to scrutinize those trusts to ensure that the money and the funds in the trust are going to legitimate 501c3 registered charities. And if they're not, and if you're funneling money through a charitable trust and giving it to your kids, that's illegal, and you will get caught at some point. So, the problem with these types of strategies is they promote, these strategies cross the line from tax avoidance into tax evasion. And tax avoidance is perfectly legal, and we are all perfectly eligible to try to lower our tax bill as much as we legally can. So tax avoidance is not the problem. Tax evasion is. Tax evasion is not paying taxes that you duly owe. Or they promote one-size-fits-all approaches that don't meet IRS standards. So like having one secret trick that everyone can use to lower their tax bill, no. Taxes are intensely personal. And so having general or generic strategies that fit everybody's tax situation that can lower your tax bill, highly improbable. So some of the things to look out for to determine if these this information is a scam or legit. Usually they are marketed as educational content, but have no due diligence behind the scheme or the plan. And they're often sold by non-credentialed influencers or people who claim to be former IRS employees, as if the IRS employees have a better working knowledge of the tax code than say a tax attorney or a CPA. No, I assure you, 90% of people who work at the IRS do not understand the tax code any more than the average Joe on the street. The IRS tax code is mind-numbingly complex, and only experts in the field. You should only partner with experts in the field if you are looking to run a tax-efficient ship. So tax planning is intensely personal. That means it's customized to your individual situation, and it should be legal, and any claims to the contrary should be a red flag and should be avoided because it's probably not true. All right, going to pause right here for a quick commercial break. We'll be right back after these messages. 627-7979. I'm certified financial planner Kevin Zivna. You're listening to Dollars and Common Sense on News Talk 790 WNIS.
Wealthway Financial Advisors, planning for life. Advisors, planning for life.
And welcome back to Dollars and Common Sense, your local source for objective, unbiased financial advice. I'm certified financial planner Kevin Zivna, president at Wealthway Financial Advisors, the premier financial planning firm in Hampton Roads, where we integrate expert investment management with customized, ongoing financial planning advice to help our clients answer life's big financial questions and enhance their quality of life. For more information about us, you can look us up online at wealthwayadvisors.com. All right, tonight we're talking about financial information on the internet. It seems to be everywhere these days. and it's starting to get under my skin because every time I see it in my news feed or on Facebook or some late night TV sometimes as well, financial schemes of dubious quality. I'm here to dispel some of those tonight. So here's another one that I see fairly frequently: real estate myths and overhyped return on investment when it comes to real estate investing. This often is accompanied by a narrative that claims real estate is always safe and more profitable than diversified investing. Now, real estate can be a good investment, and in fact, we use it regularly in the diversified investment portfolios that we build for our clients. But we use commercial real estate, and we get access to commercial real estate investments through either ETFs, exchange traded funds, or mutual funds. And we let professional managers in those vehicles pick what they believe to be profitable commercial real estate ventures. Commercial real estate, so office buildings, office parks, hospital complexes, the strip malls that are prevalent throughout Hampton Roads. Even some things that you don't think of as real estate investments can be like. So a lot of times the storage facilities that are all over the place nowadays, a lot of times those storage facilities are actually a real estate play in that you build the garages, you charge people some rent for using that space. Well, that's a form of real estate. And then eventually, usually the owner of those properties hopes that the development around them starts to increase so that one day they get that their property gets bought out. So there's a lot of different ways you can invest in commercial real estate, and that is a very viable investment track that you can use. But where we see some of the absolute worst real estate investments is the individual, non-professional, one-off rental residential real estate. So somebody, people who've been kind of captured by the swan song of passive income, and they can just buy a house and put it up for rent, and they're going to get a tenant who will pay them rent, and that will pay the mortgage plus all the expenses for the upkeep of the property, plus a profit, and that all they have to do is sit back and collect the rent check once a month. Those uniformly are some of the worst investments that when clients come to us and we do the analysis on them. Negative rates of return, break even, maybe 1 or 2% average annual rates of return at best. Nowadays, you're better parking the money in the CD. And think of the hassle that goes into being a landlord and vetting tenants and cleaning up after them and fixing the broken refrigerator and so on and so forth. Anyway, this is sometimes people you'll see claims that real estate always appreciates, rent covers the mortgage. Well, anyone who was alive in was of age 2008 through and 2009 knows that real estate does not always appreciate. Sometimes you see claims, use leverage to 10 times your wealth risk-free. Yeah, sometimes you can with the right property. People who make money in direct residential real estate investing are real estate professionals, okay? Those people know what they're doing. They have teams of plumbers and electricians and handymen and property managers to take care of the property in an efficient manner. Though, if you are a professional real estate investor, yes, you can make money, but individuals should generally stay away. Oftentimes, the problem with these claims about real estate is it encourages risky leverage. It underestimates the cost and ignores the liquidity and vacancy risks. Right? So can't bite off a part of your rental property and eat that. So you got to be careful. All right, got to pause here for the news break. Be right back in a couple minutes. 627-7979. I'm certified financial planner Kevin Zibna. You're listening to Dollars and Common Sense on News Talk 790 WNIS.
Wealthway Financial Advisors, planning for life. Wealthway Financial Advisors, planning for life.
And welcome back to Dollars and Common Sense, your local source for objective, unbiased financial advice. I'm certified financial planner Kevin Zibna, president at Wealthway Financial Advisors, the premier financial planning firm in Hampton Roads, where we integrate expert investment management with customized ongoing financial planning advice to help our clients answer life's big financial questions and enhance their quality of life. For more information about us, you can look us up online at wealthwayadvisors.com. Once there, you can request an information packet to find out what it's like to work with us, or sign up for a free quarterly newsletter at wealthwayadvisors.com. Just go to the Request a Consultation page, put your name and address in the dialog boxes there, select the appropriate drop-down menu, and we'll get that information out to you later on this week. And that's all we will use your name and address for, is just to send you the information that you request. Or if you've got some nuanced questions, want to speak to a live human being, give us a call at the office, 757-456-2200. Want to remind everybody our next live show will be in 2 weeks on Tuesday, September 23rd. But if you can't catch us live every second and fourth Tuesday of the month at 6 p.m., get the show as a podcast. Search for Dollars and Common Sense wherever you get your podcasts. Download us, take us with you wherever you go, and listen at your convenience. And for those of you into social media, we have a presence on Facebook and LinkedIn. Search for Wealthway Financial Advisors, hit that like or follow button, and once every week or two we put up an interesting and informative financial planning post to keep you engaged in the process. All right, tonight we're talking about financial misinformation on the internet, or in the ethosphere, or all around us these days. Everywhere we turn, we can't get away from our phones or computer or the TV, it seems like. So anyway, with all that, all those outlets comes some negative financial information. I'm going to try to dispel some of it here tonight. Another one that it's sort of winding through all of these schemes or misinformation is an element of truth, right? There is sort of, that's what makes it believable, because there is a kernel of truth to what the claim is about, but the claim is too nebulous to really stand up to any scrutiny, and that's where it breaks down. So here's another one: cryptocurrency meme coin investments. So crypto tokens, that lack intrinsic value or clear use case, they're often associated with a recent meme or viral trend. Now, I'm not even sure what some of that stuff means right there, but cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, is a real thing. I do think that it has some real-world applications that we aren't fully seeing yet, but it has potential. And it's certainly not a viable currency yet in most cases, most legal cases, but it could be, and it could have a place somewhere. But right now, for regular real-world investors, I think it's an area that should be avoided unless very well understood. So some of the claims you might see: new altcoin will gain 100 times value this year. Tired of missing out on the next big meme coin? Click here to follow my proven strategy and become a millionaire. Okay. Well, the problems with this is, while Bitcoin is a real thing, it's got high volatility and risk of loss can be extreme. And because these token thingies are easy to create, they are very vulnerable to pump and dump schemes, which is basically generate a lot of publicity, pump it up around a meme coin, and the original holders, so that bids up the price as new people come in to buy it. That bids up the price, and the people who started the coin or got in early, they sell it, they dump it, and they cash out. Everyone else is left holding the bag and loses money. Promoters use social media and market manipulation to artificially inflate a coin's value, which encourages purchasing it. And then once the price peaks, they sell their holdings, causing the value to crash. So you got to watch out for that. It's often promoted by influencers with undisclosed pay or ownership arrangements to the meme coin. Often uses FOMO, fear of missing out tactics, or vague blockchain jargon. Yeah. Ever have anyone try to explain to you Bitcoin in about 5 sentences? I think it's nearly impossible. Again, though, it is a real thing. It has some viable real-world applications. Not very much in the U.S. yet, I don't think. It's all sort of based on potential. And unlike a company which produces real goods, real services, with real employees, that creates a real profit, that's an entity that has intrinsic value to investors. A Bitcoin just has value because somebody says it does. It only goes up in price because people keep buying more Bitcoin. But the moment they stop buying it and start selling it, that price is going to go down just as fast as it went up. So it doesn't. And the people who make money with Bitcoin, how do they do that? Well, they bought it at a low price, they sell it at a higher price, and then they take the profits from the Bitcoin and they turn it into dollars. And then they use the dollars to buy stuff with. So we're still not even buying stuff with a cryptocurrency to any meaningful degree. So it's just too speculative for the average person out there, in my opinion. Many tokens exist only to lure buyers and to inflate the price briefly and crash. So I would say for most people, it's something you should avoid for the time being. All right. What else we got? Misleading debt relief and forgiveness ads. Yeah, this is a good one. You see these late night TVs. Promises to cancel or erase debt through government programs or legal loopholes. Loan forgiveness is now live. Sign up now. Eliminate credit card debt using this one legal trick. Well, that could be bankruptcy. Yeah, you can eliminate your credit card debt by filing bankruptcy. Of course, there's all kinds of negative repercussions around that. So I guess that claim is, technically accurate. But what usually these shady types of claims lead to is identity theft, fees for non-existent services, or even ruined credit, because people who are desperate cling to this as their last hope, and they just get scammed even further, and so they can't pay back their debt, their original debt. They can be out even more money, which means they have even less money to pay back the original debt. It's heartbreaking. It's cruel. It's inhumane. There's a special ring in hell for people who do these types of things. But what makes it? So some things to look out for: fake government logos, urgent language. You got to do it now. Robocalls. If you're getting offers for these on your phone through robocalls, probably not legit. They often use fake government URLs. That's the website addresses. They mirror legitimate ones, so it's hard to determine the real from the fake. And they often come with upfront fees. Well, if you pay me $5,000, I'll help erase your $50,000 debt. Well, sounds like a good deal, right? Yeah, until you're out the $5,000 and you still have the $50,000 debt. Real help comes from nonprofit credit counselors. Those exist. They are real. They are beneficial. You can certainly Google them in our area. A lot of time, charitable organizations or religious organizations have arms or division that will help people get out of debt and provide them with credit counseling. Of course, the reason why these things are so insidious is that they can damage your credit, expose your identity, and threaten your financial future even more. And those aren't solutions. Those are scams. Okay? How about dismissing traditional retirement accounts as ineffective or obsolete? I'm hearing this one a little bit more and more today. Claims that traditional retirement accounts such as 401ks, IRAs, pensions are outdated and irrelevant. They're old-fashioned. They're your grandfather's way of saving. You get with the times. So these people are often pushing alternative investments or alternative strategies. Here are some of the examples. Are you still trapping your money in your employer's 401k account? Trapping it. Like trapping a bear or something. Can't get out of. And then actual rich people don't use a 401k. No, they do. I assure you. Actual rich people do use their 401k or their TSP or their 403b or their IRA or Roth IRA. Yes, they do. And the reason that this makes this so harmful is that the promoter of these schemes is often trying to lure investing dollars towards a product that they are selling to make money. It's about them, not about you. So what to look out for? Out of context or cherry-picked research about retirement plans. And I will concede that the 401k plan is a much more complicated animal than most employees realize. Your director of human resources will probably know how complicated the 401k plan is because they have to administer it. And there can be some inefficiencies, we'll call it, in poorly designed 401k plans. That is true, but still, overall, it is probably one of the greatest wealth creation vehicles available to the rank and file, to all of us employees, if we use it properly. Sometimes you'll see accusations of employers trapping employees with the employer match. That one is bizarre. Employers match your contributions to your 401k plan or your company-sponsored retirement plan, whatever form it is, in order to incent you to contribute to the plan. They're giving you free money if you put in a certain amount. And it's usually something like they'll give you 3% of your contribution up to 6% of your salary. So which makes almost 9% of a savings rate for the average person. And so if someone tells you to avoid the 401k, they're probably trying to sell you something. The workplace retirement plans offer real tax advantages and often come with additional incentives to help you grow the money in your retirement plan, your company-sponsored retirement plan that you own, you control. Yes, it's part of a larger plan, but that money is yours. It's not your employer's. You own it, and you can take it with you when you separate from service. And so it used properly, this is how most people, I would say, in this day and age, generate wealth and build their net worth is their company-sponsored retirement plan. All right, going to take our last break. Be right back in a couple minutes. 627-7979. I'm certified financial planner Kevin Zivna. You're listening to Dollars and Common Sense.
Wealthway Financial Advisors, planning for life. Wealthway Financial Advisors, planning for life.
And and welcome back to Dollars and Common Sense, your local source for objective, unbiased financial advice. I'm certified financial planner Kevin Zivna, the president at Wealthway Financial Advisors, the premier financial planning firm in Hampton Roads, where we integrate expert investment management with customized, ongoing financial planning advice to help our clients answer life's big financial questions and enhance their quality of life. For more information about us, check us out online at wealthwayadvisors.com. Tonight, we're talking about financial misinformation that swirls all around us. Got a few more to go here. This one is a new one. AI-generated financial advice and bots. Advice generated by artificial intelligent tools or influencers using artificial intelligence, often without proper compliance or customization. Yeah, no doubt. So sometimes there's you can find TikTok videos showing AI-generated plans for the what's known as the FIRE movement, financial independence, retire early, which is a little bit of a sort of a financial subculture. These are people who purposefully live very frugally, save as much money as they can while they're young, as quickly as they can, to try to then live without a job for as long as they can. So essentially retire, say, at age 30 or 35 or something like that. And that's a whole other conversation about, the value of that. But hey, to each their own. If that's something that excites you, then you're free to do with your own money what you choose. But some of those people are very susceptible to all kinds of schemes to help them do that. So some of these AI generated plans are coming up to take advantage of them. Also, chatbots creating personalized investment strategies. Like, yeah, sure, why not just go to ChatGPT and type in, build me an investment plan that will average 15% average annual rate of return, right? And through the magic of AI, you're supposed to get something. However, it's not probable, if not at all possible, to get a long-run rate of return consistently of 15% out of most investment vehicles. As stated early on, investment involves risk, and the higher return you shoot for, the more risk one needs to take, which means you might not even come close to that anticipated rate of return. You could perhaps lose significant amounts of money. So the idea that AI can do certain things, and that's why there's an element of truth to all these things. We use AI in our practice to do research on complicated one-off situations, and it helps synthesize a lot of disparate types of information. And by proper question answering, asking of AI, you can really start to hone in on a good solution. But it also produces some funky sort of responses as well. And I've come to learn the term hallucinate. So apparently AI may hallucinate, or which means make up data, and it certainly lacks context for real world client human circumstances. That's the value of the human. So you got to look out for advice that may sound professional, especially if it's based on some, scraped expert content, that the AI scrapes the internet for the content. And consumers often can't distinguish between real advisors and AI-powered coaches. They lack context, they lack oversight, and they lack customization, at least for now. 10 years from now, who knows? They might be our overlords. But they don't replace professional judgment. And without human review, the recommendations from AI can definitely be misleading and may not fit your individual circumstances. While there's a lot of promise to AI, and I believe we're in the infancy of it, and the uses will become better and more customized, For right now, anyway, I'd be very wary of most of the advice you're getting from AI-generated bots and so forth. Here's one of my favorites. Market timing claims tied to events or fear, encouraging investors to enter or exit markets based on short-term predictions, current events, or news cycles. You'll hear it in claims like, get out now, interest rates are going up, or markets always crash before elections. And this is just inherently fear-mongering. So, and the reason why it's so detrimental is because people may abandon long-term strategies and miss rebounds from market timing. There is no one on planet Earth, there is no AI bot yet built that can consistently time market movements. Short-term market movements are perfectly, if we're talking U.S. stock market, are perfectly random in the short run. No one can do it. If someone could have done it, they would have done it by now. They would have amassed most all the wealth in the world. It can't happen. It won't happen. So you got to watch out for quote-unquote analysis that relies on selective data or outdated charts or backdated information, and often being framed as, oh, well, this is what the smart money does, or this is what the wealthy do. They jump in and out at the right times. Often it comes attached to this time is different. This market downturn is different, and we're going to the bottom, and you're going to lose all your money. Just outrageous claims that aren't true. Overwhelmingly, data shows that staying invested through the downturns leads to better outcomes than trying to time short-term market movements. And then the last one, I'm running out of time, day trading and high-frequency strategies for beginners. This is almost related. Promoting options, foreign exchange markets, day trading strategies is something anyone can do if you just follow my plan for $500 a day, or use leverage to grow faster than traditional investing. It's akin to gambling. Do not fall for that. That's all the time I have for today. I'll be back in 2 weeks on Tuesday, September 23rd. 6 p.m. Until then, I'm certified financial planner Kevin Zivna. You've been listening to Dollars and Common Sense on AM 790 WNIS. The preceding program was sponsored and paid for by Wealthway Financial Advisors. We are solely responsible for its content.